Stop punishing. Start connecting. A parenting channel script on emotional development. Here's something that might stop you mid-thought. What if your child's worst behavior is actually their most desperate attempt to reach you? Not to frustrate you, not to ruin your day, but to say, I need you, and I don't know how to say it. Welcome back. If you're a parent who's ever felt completely lost in the middle of a meltdown, yours or your child's, this video is for you. Today, we're going to talk about something that doesn't get nearly enough attention in parenting conversations. Why emotional connection isn't just a nice to have, it's actually the foundation of everything. Behavior, learning, confidence, trust. It all starts there. And by the end of this video, I think you're going to see your child's hardest moments in a completely different light. What your child is really saying. When they act out. Let's start here. Imagine your 6-year-old throws a full-blown tantrum because you gave them the blue cup instead of the red one. Your first thought might be, this is ridiculous. And honestly, you're not wrong. The cup doesn't matter. But here's what does. Your child isn't really upset about the cup. Children don't have the language or the brain development to say, I'm overwhelmed, I'm tired, I feel like nothing is in my control today. So instead, they say it through behavior. The tantrum is a telegram. It's imperfect, it's loud, and it's inconvenient. But it's communication. When we respond to that behavior with pure frustration or punishment, we answer the noise but miss the message. And when a child's message goes unanswered enough times, they either shut down or turn up the volume. Neither of those is what we want. The first shift is simply asking, what is my child trying to tell me right now? That one question changes everything about how you respond. Why kids can't learn. When they don't feel safe. Here's something fascinating about the brain. When a child feels scared, ashamed, or emotionally threatened, the thinking part of their brain, the part responsible for reasoning, problem-solving, and making good decisions, goes almost completely offline. The survival part takes over. So when we raise our voice, issue ultimatums, or send a child to their room in the heat of the moment, we're talking to a brain that literally cannot process what we're saying. They're not ignoring us on purpose. They're in emotional survival mode. Now picture this instead. A parent who kneels down, speaks quietly, and says, I can see you're really upset. I'm right here. That moment of safety, of feeling genuinely seen, actually helps the child's nervous system settle, and once they're calm, that's when they can hear you. That's when learning happens. Emotional safety isn't about being permissive or letting everything slide. It's about creating the conditions where connection and growth are actually possible. The difference between guiding and controlling. There's a question worth sitting with. Are we parenting to feel in control, or to help our child develop self-control? Because those two goals look similar from the outside, but they take you to very different places. When the focus is on control, the goal is compliance. Stop the behavior, restore the peace, move on. And sometimes that works in the short term. But children who are raised primarily through control often struggle to develop their own inner compass. They learn to behave when someone is watching, not because they understand why it matters. Guidance looks different. It's slower. It involves explaining, wondering aloud, asking your child what they think could happen next. It treats them as a thinking person who is still learning, not a problem to be managed. A parent who says, we don't hit. Hitting hurts people, and I know you didn't want to actually hurt your sister. So let's figure out what you needed in that moment. Is doing something powerful. They're not excusing the behavior. They're building the understanding that will prevent it next time, from the inside out. When you take a breath before you respond instead of reacting. When you say, I'm feeling frustrated right now, so I'm going to take a moment before we talk about this. When you repair after a hard conversation with, I raised my voice earlier and I'm sorry. That wasn't fair to you. You are not showing weakness. You are teaching in real time what it looks like to be emotionally intelligent. Children are extraordinary observers. They absorb how we handle disappointment, conflict, and discomfort. They notice whether we practice what we ask of them, and slowly, over years, they begin to mirror it. Not perfectly, and not all at once, but genuinely. So let's bring this full circle. Behavior is communication. Safety opens the door to learning. Guidance builds internal values that control never could. And you, just by showing up with honesty and warmth, are teaching your child more than any lesson plan ever could. The goal of parenting has never really been to raise an obedient child. It's been to raise a human being who feels secure enough to grow, brave enough to make mistakes, and loved enough to come back to you when they do. That kind of relationship isn't built in the big moments. It's built in the small, quiet ones, every single day.